Tuesday, 9:17 a.m. The family chat lit up on my phone. We need space. Don't reach out anymore. At all. First I thought it was a mistake. Then my chest went cold. My hands shook. I'm Clara Jensen, 34. Nurse in Dallas. I work nights, double shifts, holidays. I heal strangers. I paid my family's bills too. Groceries. Rent. Prescriptions. Credit cards. Always mine. I had no husband. No kids. Just them. And now silence. Yesterday Maya texted me a heart emoji. Just a little red heart before bed. She promised. I'll call you tomorrow. Tomorrow never came. I called my mother. Straight to voicemail. Father. The same. Ethan. Caleb. No answers. And Maya, the one I always helped most. The one whose overdue bill I paid last month. She didn't pick up either. It felt worse than silence. They didn't even let me ask why. I was crossed out like an old receipt. Tossed without a second thought. The coffee mug on my desk had gone cold. The one Mom gave me last Christmas. She said, "So you remember home?" Now it stared back empty. The keys lay beside it. One still from my parents' house. I remembered the smell of pine cleaner in the hallway. The creak of the front door hinge. I oiled myself. Those keys once meant family. Now they meant nothing. The apartment smelled faintly of last night's lasagna. Half of it still in the fridge. The TV sat muted in the corner, frozen on a news channel. A birthday candle stood on the shelf, from my nephew's last party. Little anchors everywhere, pulling me down. And still, what if they're right? What if I really was the problem? What will I tell coworkers when they ask about Thanksgiving? What will I tell my neighbor when she wonders why I stopped visiting? In Dallas, news spreads fast. People always know before you do. I clenched the mug until my hand hurt. Memories fought back. Sunday calls, bills, endless requests. Dad's prescriptions I paid for last winter. Ethan's truck insurance I covered. Maya's rent check I mailed myself. Always me giving. Always them taking. On Facebook they'd still post smiling group photos. Everyone lined up on the porch. Without me. Friends would comment. Such a perfect family. None would notice the missing piece. The wording in the message felt strange. It didn't sound like Mom's. It was sharper. Colder. Mom never used periods. Here they lined up like bullets. Someone else's hand was in it. Next to the keys lay a folded photo. Me and Maya both in college sweatshirts. I'd kept it in my desk for years. Now the crease down the middle looked like a crack. Neighbors probably knew before I did. Small towns whisper. Faces stay polite. I scrolled through my voicemail folder. Mom's birthday song from last year was still saved. Her voice shaky but warm. Happy birthday, Clara. That was 12 months ago. Today she cut me off with 13 words. A memory hit me like a slap. Family dinner 2 years ago. Bills stacked on the counter. Mom said, "Clara will handle it. She always does." Everyone nodded and I paid. I read the message again. We need space. Don't reach out. Only later would I learn who pushed for it. And why. I didn't know yet that by Friday I'd be sitting in a lawyer's office with that same photo on the desk. But tell me this, what would you do if your entire family cut you off in one day? Wednesday came heavy. I barely slept. I tied my hair back, put on my scrubs and forced myself into the car. Being a nurse in Dallas means no breaks, even when your own life collapses. At work I kept patients alive, steady, cared for. At home nobody cared if I disappeared. The night shift had ended 5 hours earlier. But duty doesn't ask how your family just cut you off. In the break room, coworkers joked about Thanksgiving pies and road trips. One nurse turned to me. "Clara, you going home for the holiday?" The coffee almost spilled in my hand. I forced a smile. Not sure yet. My throat tightened. Their laughter faded into glances. They sensed something I couldn't say. I pulled a mini chocolate bar from my pocket and unwrapped it slowly, just to keep my hand steady. I always kept one in my scrub pocket. Patients thought it was for quick sugar. It was for my nerves. On my phone, Facebook glowed. My family's new photo filled the screen. Porch smiles. Dad's arm around Mom. Ethan beside Caleb. Maya in the center, bright as always. My chair gone. Friends typed. Such a perfect family. So blessed. One woman wrote, Where's Clara? An hour later her comment vanished. Erased. Like me. Would you smile back if your whole family posed without you? Last Thanksgiving Mom leaned across the table and said, "We couldn't do this without you, Clara." I carved the turkey. I poured the wine. Ethan spilled gravy and everyone laughed. Now the same table stood, but my name wasn't even spoken. Even as a kid I kept the peace. I packed lunches when Mom worked late. I ironed Ethan's shirts before his first job interview. I reminded Maya about homework when she forgot. They leaned on me always. I used to think being single meant I could always be there for them. Now it just meant there was no one left for me. At the hospital I played my part well. Smiles, short jokes, steady hands. My patients believed I had no worries. My coworkers laughed with me. That was the mask. I'd learned how to look fine while breaking. The shift ended. I drove through traffic. At the grocery store the cashier smiled. Family dinner this week? My lips parted but no words came. I swiped my card and left fast. The silence was louder than any answer. Back home lasagna still waited in the fridge. A candle sat unused on the shelf. My mug was cold, half full. The keys on the table gleamed useless. I unlocked my phone and pressed play. Mom's shaky voice sang "Happy Birthday" from last year. I stopped it halfway. My chest ached. Receipts cluttered the table. One caught my eye, Maya's rent check from last month, my handwriting filling her gap. She'd texted a heart emoji the night before everything ended. "I'll call you tomorrow," she said. Tomorrow never came. Near midnight my phone rang. Blocked number. My heart jolted. I answered. Breathing slow and heavy. A male voice. "They don't want you anymore." Click. Silence. He said "anymore" with the same clipped tone Ethan used when angry. Short. Sharp. My blood froze. Was it him? Or someone using his voice? I locked every door. Lights on. Couch bed. The keys clutched in my fist. I checked the front door 3 times before lying down. Outside, footsteps echoed in the hallway. Slow. Heavy. The elevator groaned open. I held my breath until it rattled shut again. My thumb hovered over block number. If I blocked it, I might never hear from them again. If I didn't, I might hear more than I could survive. Morning came harsh. My phone buzzed. Another post. A video of my nephew's birthday. Everyone sang, candles glowing. My chair at the table sat empty. The camera panned past it quick, like they wanted to erase me twice. 2 days. That was all I had. 2 days before Friday. That night, I unfolded the photo of me and Maya. I held it under the lamp. The crease cut through her face like a knife. A wound across paper. My fingers shook, but I couldn't tear it. Not yet. There was one thing they didn't know. Not yet. And maybe that was why Friday mattered more than they guessed. The phone buzzed again. Another blocked number. I didn't answer. The voicemail came anyway. "You'll understand soon. Friday will change everything." I stared at the dark screen. Friday. A deadline I never chose. By then, a lawyer's desk would hold this same photo. But tonight I sat alone in silence, keys in one hand, photo in the other. If you got that call, your family erased by a stranger's voice, would you answer again? Or block the world forever? Thursday morning felt heavier than Wednesday. I left my apartment early, still in scrubs, though my shift wasn't until noon. The air was cold, damp, thick with car exhaust. My phone buzzed twice before I even reached the hospital doors. Unknown number. I didn't answer. My thumb hovered, but I shoved it back into my pocket. At work I forced the mask again. Smiles. Quick jokes. Steady hands. My patients didn't know my family had erased me. But my coworkers did. I heard them whisper in the hall. Her family's going through something. Maybe she caused it. I kept walking, heart pounding. During lunch I opened Facebook again. Another family photo. This time at a diner. The same booth we use for every birthday. Ethan with a milkshake, Maya holding fries. My parents on either side. The caption read, "Tradition never breaks." My name didn't appear. Not once. A neighbor from my building commented, "Where's Clara?" The comment vanished within an hour. Replaced with heart emojis. Clean. Perfect. False. Would you believe your own eyes if your family edited you out of every memory? I remembered a line from last night's voicemail. Friday will change everything. 2 days left. The words sat heavy like weights on my chest. In the evening, I stopped at the corner store. The cashier, the same woman every week, smiled at me. Thanksgiving prep already? My lips trembled. Something like that. I swiped my card. My hand shook so hard I almost dropped it. Back home, the lasagna was spoiled. The smell of sour cheese filled the kitchen. I dumped it in the trash. A slice fell to the floor. I left it there. I didn't care. The folded photo of Maya still sat on my desk. Tonight I held it to the lamp again. The crease had deepened. It split her face in two. My stomach turned. I almost ripped it. But I didn't. That refusal felt like the only strength I had left. The phone rang again. Blocked number. This time I let it go to voicemail. The voice spoke. You'll see who they trust now. It isn't you. The word trust hit me. The tone clipped again, sharp. The same way Ethan spoke when scolding. My blood ran cold. I replayed it 3 times. Same sound. Same rhythm. Was it him? Or someone speaking for him? Even as a kid, I'd been their steady one. I packed lunches. I ironed shirts. I kept the peace. Now the peace was broken and I was the problem. Or so they wanted me to believe. I sat with the photo in one hand, the keys in the other. My phone buzzed again, this time with a text. Not from the family chat. From a number I didn't know. Just 5 words, stop asking. They chose already. My hands shook. I never asked anything. I never begged. I stayed silent. Someone wanted me to feel desperate. Someone wanted me broken. Later that night, I heard voices in the hallway. 2 men, low, muffled. One laughed. The elevator opened. Then closed. I sat frozen on the couch, lights on, blanket pulled tight around me. My thumb checked the locks 3 times. Friday felt close. Too close. 2 days left. Would you keep waiting for a call that might destroy you? Or would you cut the line before it reached you? Thursday night bled into Friday morning. I barely slept. I sat on the couch with the lamp on, my keys in my fist, the folded photo under my palm. When I finally closed my eyes, dreams came sharp. I saw the family table. Everyone laughing. My chair gone. By noon I forced myself outside. Dallas air was cool, heavy with rain. I walked into the hospital, eyes burning from no rest. The mask slipped back on. Smiles. Quick answers. I'm fine. Inside my chest was hollow. In the cafeteria, voices carried. Clara's not going home this year? Her family, something happened. My coworkers looked away when I entered. I set down my tray, untouched food. I checked my phone. A new post. This time not a porch, not a diner. A full restaurant. White tablecloths. Wine glasses. My parents in the center. Ethan and Maya on each side. Caleb raising a toast. Caption, family first. Always. My throat tightened. That was the restaurant I once chose for Mom's birthday. I remembered the smell of garlic bread. The creak of the door hinge. I oiled myself when it stuck. Now they sat there without me. Their smiles practiced, wide. Perfect. One comment sat beneath. What a beautiful family. Another. So proud of you all. No one asked where I was. Would you believe the mask if the whole world praised it? I scrolled again. In the background of the photo, my eyes caught something. A reflection in the mirror behind them. A man leaning close to Maya. Not family. Not a friend I knew. His hand rested near hers. The angle made it clear. Too close. Too familiar. My stomach clenched. The reflection blurred, but I remembered the tone in the voicemail. Cold. Clipped. Could it be him? The thought dug into me. That evening the phone buzzed again. Blocked number. I answered. The same breath. The same clipped tone. You'll never be at that table again. My knees weakened. I pressed the phone to my ear. Who are you? Silence. Then a laugh. Not Ethan's. Not Caleb's. Deeper. Older. The line cut. I sat frozen, mug in hand. Coffee gone cold. My thumb hovered over the block button again. I didn't press it. Later that night I opened the photo of Maya and me. I pressed it to the lamp. The crease looked wider, darker. It split her face like a scar. I almost tore it in half. But again I didn't. Holding on was the only act of defiance left. Walking back to my car that night I felt eyes on me. A man leaned against a black sedan, phone in hand. He looked up when I passed. Same build as the reflection. My steps quickened. My heart pounded so loud it filled my ears. My palms were wet as if I held ice. I gripped my keys like a weapon until the elevator doors closed behind me. At midnight, another Facebook post appeared. This time a video. The whole family raising glasses. To us, Ethan said. Maya clapped. Caleb grinned. Dad laughed. But Mom's smile slipped. Her eyes darted sideways, quick, nervous, almost pleading. For a second I froze the frame. Her lips moved. A single word. It looked like sorry. Then the video jumped. I pressed my hospital badge card between my fingers. The plastic bent. That badge had been a gift from Dad when I finished training. You'll always belong to us, he'd said. Now it felt like a lie heavy in my hand. There were only hours left until Friday. Hours before the deadline I never chose. I had already started gathering what they'd left in my name. Proof. Receipts. Voices. Friday wasn't just a deadline. It was my move. I thought of the time I turned down a trip to California with friends. Ethan had needed help with rent. I stayed. I paid. They all forgot. My life bent around theirs until it broke. My photo of Maya stayed folded under the lamp, the crease dark as a scar. My badge beside it. 2 objects. 2 lies. So tell me, what would you do if your family smiled for the world while a stranger stood behind them, pulling every string? Would you stay silent? Or would you tear the mask off no matter the cost? The envelope slid under my office door during lunch. No name. No logo. Just my own handwriting copied across the front. Clara Jensen, unstable. Don't trust her with patience. My chest went cold. That single line was enough to end me. If the hospital board saw it, my license was gone. Years of training. My entire life. I picked it up with shaking hands. The paper was cheap, edges bent. The words were printed, not written. Inside, stay quiet, or worse will follow. My badge card slipped from my pocket as I read. The same badge Dad had once praised. You'll always belong with us, he'd said. Now the card lay flat against the envelope, both heavy with lies. I wasn't just losing family. They wanted me erased everywhere. At work. In Houston. In life. When I stepped into the hallway, the air smelled of bleach and cheap cologne. My stomach knotted. Ethan used to wear that cologne in college, the kind that lingered too long. The corridor was empty. Only a janitor's cart stood by the elevator. But the smell was fresh. Hours left until Friday. Hours until my file would be laid on a lawyer's desk. I wasn't only collecting anymore. I had already recorded the calls, each one saved on a small black recorder I carried in my coat. I kept a log of times, words, tones. I made 3 copies. One at home. One at the office. One already slipped into the locked courier box for legal delivery. My secret file wasn't just a secret now. It was protection. It was leverage. At home the blinds twitched when I unlocked the door. The hallway below echoed with laughter. Mail. Short. Clipped. Too close to Ethan's when he was angry. My keys rattled in my hand as I shut the door fast. I switched on the lamp. The photo of Maya glared back at me, crease sharp as a knife. Beside it sat the toy truck my nephew left years ago. Red paint chipped, one wheel missing. I had kept it as proof that I mattered once. Tonight it felt like evidence in a trial no one else would witness. My phone buzzed. A new message. Unknown number. Be careful. 2 words. No punctuation. Mom always wrote like that. Short. Urgent. I saved it without replying. Proof or warning I couldn't tell. I sat on the couch, knees tight to my chest. Facebook glowed on my screen. Another family photo. All smiles. Perfect table setting. Perfect lights. Caption. Together is everything. Dozens of comments. What a family. So lucky. Perfect. Not one mentioned me. Only one line had appeared earlier. Where's Clara? An hour later it vanished. Deleted. Someone was managing the mask. I thought of the life I gave up. The weekend trip I canceled when Ethan needed rent. The boyfriend I lost because Maya needed a cosigner. The vacations I never took so Dad's prescriptions were filled. I gave them everything. Now I was the villain in their script. My thumb hovered over block number. If I pressed it, silence forever. If I didn't, more poison would follow. My throat burned with the choice. By midnight, I could already see it. Fluorescent lights over the lawyer's desk. My file spread open. Voices, receipts, dates. My hand steady when I spoke. The clock ticked louder. Hours left until Friday. Hours left until truth. So tell me, if your family turned you into their villain and a stranger's voice stalked you at night, would you strike first? Thursday dawned gray. Houston sky pressed low, heavy as my chest. Hours left until Friday. My file was almost complete. I needed one last piece. I walked into the hospital with my head high, badge clipped to my coat. My stomach churned, but my steps were steady. At the nurse's station, whispers stopped when I passed. One said unstable, too loud. I wrote the time in my notebook. 8:14 a.m. Proof. In the staff room, the envelope waited. Different color. Same threat. Inside. Your patients deserve better. My hand shook, but I slipped the page into my folder. Every word mattered now. I texted my lawyer. Courier will deliver tonight. File updated. He replied. Be here at 9 sharp Friday. Don't be late. On my break, I stepped outside for air. The parking lot was half empty. That same black sedan idled near the exit. Windows tinted, engine humming. I walked faster, shoes clicking. The driver lit a cigarette. His profile sharp, familiar. Ethan? No. Too thick in the shoulders. But he turned his head just enough. My skin crawled. I reached my car. Inside, the smell of cologne lingered. Not mine. Not new. My throat closed. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles whitened. That night at home, I spread the file across my table. Receipts. Logs. Calls recorded. Envelopes. Photos. I numbered each page. My hand cramped, but I didn't stop. This wasn't just survival anymore. This was offense. The photo of Maya lay torn in half. I taped it back, creased jagged like scar tissue. I placed it on top of the file. They wanted to erase me. Instead, their faces would carry the evidence. At 9, a knock on my door. Not the buzzer. Knuckles. Slow. Deliberate. I froze. My recorder sat in my pocket. Clicked it on. Clara, a man's voice called. Too close to Ethan's tone. You should stop. It won't help you. I stayed silent. My heart beat loud in my ears. Steps retreated. Silence followed. I pressed my back to the wall until the hallway elevator chimed. Then nothing. My phone buzzed. Unknown number again. Final warning. 2 words. This time with a period. Ethan always used sharp punctuation. I saved the message. Added it to the log. Proof. Hours left until Friday. Hours until the lawyer's office. I leaned back, eyes burning. The toy truck still sat on the shelf. I picked it up, thumb brushing the chipped paint. My nephew once said, "You fix everything, Aunt Clara." Not this time. This time I wasn't fixing. I was exposing. My stomach clenched with fear and something harder. Resolve. They thought I was alone. They thought I would fold. But my file was a weapon now, and I knew where to strike. So tell me, if a stranger stood at your door repeating your brother's voice, and your family fed him lies, would you wait for Friday to come? Or would you open the door first? Friday, 9 a.m. I walked into the lawyer's office with the file pressed tight against my chest. The air smelled of paper, ink, and stale coffee. My palms were damp, but my grip on the folder was steady. The receptionist looked up. Name. Clara Jensen, I said. My voice didn't shake. Inside, the conference room was cold. Fluorescent lights hummed above. My lawyer, Mr. Davis, waited with his laptop open. Across the table sat Ethan. Beside him, Maya. And Mom. Her hands folded, eyes down. Let's begin, Davis said. Ethan spoke first. His voice clipped sharp, the same tone from those calls. She's unstable. She's harassing us. She shouldn't be allowed near the family. Maya leaned forward. She's making things up. We just want peace. I placed the folder on the table. Opened it. One by one I laid out the evidence. Receipts for their bills I had paid. Copies of Mom's prescriptions. Ethan's credit card statement I covered. Maya's rent. All in my handwriting, dates, signatures. Then the envelopes. The threats. Same paper, same typewriter marks. each logged with date and time. Davis nodded, slid the pages across to their side. Paper outweighs words, he said. Ethan shifted, jaw tight. Maya looked pale. I added the recordings. Pressed play. The voice outside my door. The unknown number. Ethan's clip tone identical. The room went still. Mom lifted her eyes. For the first time she looked at me, not past me. Her lips moved. One word, sorry. Maya whispered. This isn't fair. I took the torn photo from my folder. The crease still visible. I placed it face up. You wanted me gone. You erased me. But every trace stayed. Ethan slammed his hand on the table. You don't understand. Davis cut him off. I understand perfectly. Intimidation. Defamation. Harassment. My client has proof. Yours has excuses. Silence. The hum of the lights filled the room. I gathered the papers, slid them back into the folder. My hands were steady now. This ends here, I said. You won't call me. You won't follow me. You won't use me again. No shouting. No tears. Just fact. I stood. Mom reached out, fingers trembling, but I didn't take her hand. I walked out. The sun outside was bright, too bright. Houston traffic roared. The file felt lighter in my arms. At home, I placed the folder in my drawer. Locked it. The key lay heavy in my palm. Same key that once opened our family home. Now it locked away their lies. I lit the candle on my table. Flame steady. Not for them. For me. So tell me. If your family betrayed you, erased you, stalked you, and left you fighting alone, would you forgive them? Or would you close the door forever? For you, 1 minute. Leave a comment. It's very important for this channel. Thank you.